Well, we want to welcome Lion Nation here for a little bit of a pre-game. Joining us, and thank you for joining us, Coach, is legendary Leander Lions head coach Steve Gideon. Coach, talk a little bit about your time here at Leander. First, give us the duration. When did you start coaching at Leander?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know if I can still remember that, but I came in here in 2001, and Jim Skinner was the head coach, and he came in from Killeen Ellison. I was at Jacksonville coaching for the Indians.
Okay.
And so we met up actually over there in Killeen, and he's needing a quarterback coach. And so I said, well, I've done some of that. Anyway, so we got our heads together and met up. I hired on as the quarterback coach and run coordinator for him. And then we won the district championship 2 years in a row. I don't think Leander had won a district championship in 40 years. So everybody here thought we invented the game, you know.
Well, you know what? You can build a little bit of a reputation with success.
Yeah, absolutely. And they were just hungry as they could be. They really were. And the parents here in Leander were hungry as well. And so, you know, I'm not saying that we did everything right, but our whole philosophy was coach them up. You know, if you have to get down on one of them in practice because they're not doing it the way we want it, just make sure you meet with that kid before you go home.
Right.
You know, so
yeah, you're not targeting them for an unnecessary reason. The reason I asked when you started is I actually played for Midway, and we came in here and lost to Leander in it would have been 1987.
Yeah.
The fall of that year. I don't know if you were on the staff then or not.
No, 2001.
2001.
And so we had just gone to the quarterfinals. We played the state champion Ennis, and so we had a pretty good outfit, but we couldn't get past them. I think we scored on the first drive, Frank, and made them mad. And so
yeah, sometimes that'll wake up a
Yeah.
team that's stacked like that.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I think really endeared the community to you, besides just winning, was that you were developing young men that can go out into the community, can be fathers, they can be uncles and husbands and quality workers for the workforce. Talk a little bit about the relationships that you had with the players over the years and how important it is to really, because if you think about it, you know, parents, especially when they get up into high school, the kids spend a lot more time with their coaches than they do with their parents.
That is really true, and it's been true since the very beginning. I think a lot of us, and I was probably included in that group, when you first start coaching, you really don't know the depth of it. Mm-hmm. And so we're all selfish in nature, and so we're there because we're competitive and we want to win every ball game every day.
It's fun to win.
Yeah. And so you can get caught up in that world. Mm-hmm. But really, when it comes down to it, players don't really care what you know until they know that you care.
Right, that's true.
That's the whole deal. I mean, if you really want to boil it down, and then you start seeing that non-monetary paycheck come through when they call you up, a.k.a. here Frank, and, you know, he wants to talk ball.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I had a very interesting story. One of his teammates, LaFon Clark, came from inner city Austin, didn't really have a very good supporting family, but he had some people that, loved him a lot, got him up here in a different setting, and so, you know, he had flare-ups, as we all know. And
well, boys will be that way.
That's right. So basically, LaFon called me the week that he shipped out to San Diego, and one of the things that I remember about that is that I could barely hear him. Sounded like he was in a well, 50 feet in the ground. Mm-hmm. And I'm going, LaFon, where are you? This was like 6 a.m. on one of those summer mornings, you know. And he's going, Coach, I'm out here in San Diego. And I said, well, what are you doing out there? And he said, well, I'm about to ship out they said I had one phone call.
And he called you.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
That is really cool. I mean, that can go to show you the kind of impact that a coach can have on young men. And really, in today's society, it's even more difficult to impart those kinds of
Yes.
qualities that young men need to have as they lead their communities, lead their families and their churches and things like that.
That's right.
So it's it's one of the things that, coaching, especially at the high school level, even all the way up to the head coach and administrators, they're not paid enough for the amount of hours that they put in, especially during the season and during the off season. I mean, if you think about the 16-hour days that you're putting in on a regular basis, and you divide your salary by all of those 16-hour days, suddenly you're not making that much of an hourly wage. It doesn't look quite as impressive.
Well, and really it's not, but that's the thing that I was talking about just a moment ago. That's when all of the passion kicks in about why you're really here. When you go home at night, you're not just studying about how to beat the other team and thinking, did I do the right thing today and get the work in to have that happen on a Friday night. But we've got 10,000 other things that are going on here with these team members, and that's the most important thing.
Right. Well, and it really is. And give us your thoughts on this too. Oftentimes you hear about teams describing their teammates as brothers, like in a familial or a family sense. So, talk about your experience with that, because families, they get along, but they also fight with each other.
Oh, yeah.
But when someone attacks a family member, then so to speak, the wagons are circled and they're ready to defend that family member.
Well, that's what you're hoping to fashion, right? When you get back from the Christmas holidays and hopefully you're playing deep into December, and we had that benefit as a program, and our kids got to live it, so that was fun to see that, come true. But when you get back in January, you start the process over again.
Right.
The seniors have moved on to their spring schedules. A new group of leaders begin to develop, or that's what your goals are.
Right.
And so we did a thing at Leander that was called high-level listening, and it was basically about storytelling. And we would tell stories about good things happening to people that put the quality work in. Now, you still got to go make it happen on game day.
Right.
But what we're doing is we're building a base that we can all respect. And I always told my coaches, a lot of teams go through what they call hell week. We're going to go through hell off season. And so basically what that means is that you're going to go through it through the long haul so that we know the depth of your commitment.
Right.
And that's kind of what we all believed in. They walked it. And there would be some kids that would, buck up and not really want to take it, And so, this is not a bit for submission.
Right.
This is a commitment to a team.
Right.
And so when they understand that, the length of that race doesn't matter.
Right.
And the depth of how low you got to go to dig down to the good earth. And then now you can rocket ship.
Yeah, it's the buy-in from the guys and the staff as well. If the players don't see the same buy-in from your coaching staff,
that's right.
They're not going to make that same commitment either.
Yeah.
So, and that's some of the important things that building a program is difficult to bring all of that to fruition. Yeah. And over the years, Leander kind of, as the district grew, the program here lost numbers, and they had a lot of tough seasons. And while they've had some success this season, they've also had some tough games that they left points on the field. They probably could have, I would say, 2 more wins than they have. But there's still a potential to make the postseason. And it'll be the first time since, I believe, 2012 or I think it was 2012 or 2013.
Yeah, that's right.
And, that's a good 10 years. I mean, it's not as long as it's been since the Cowboys made an appearance in the Super Bowl. But, it's still at the high school level. It's very difficult because and you mentioned it, you're overturning a new group of kids every year, and you're bringing in a whole new set of kids. Talk a little bit about those young guys that sometimes find their way onto the varsity, those freshmen and sophomore that are exceptional athletes, but they're, mentally maybe not prepared.
Well, you're going to have all types, right? And so you can't have a program and you can't build a team without the kids that's going to help you prepare for what's about to happen on a Friday night. So you got to have numbers. If you don't have buy-in from the least athlete all the way to the top athlete and the bulk of everything in between, then you're really just running, a ship with no hull.
Right.
It's going to sink at some point in time. So the bottom line is that you promote for numbers. You make it hard for them to quit when it gets tough because of what you have previously already put in.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but it's a whole community. If we didn't have the parents that would let us work these kids the way we needed to work them, then there's going to be discussions at the dinner table where there's an easy out. And so you try to nurture that relationship with the parents, and we had a great booster clubs here.
Yeah, it also takes the businesses.
That's right. And the whole community. And they were so hungry when we got here and we had success right off the bat. I think we won like 5 out of 6 first 6 years. I think we won 5 district championships, and we began to get deeper and deeper and deeper into the playoffs. And so there was a community buy-in, and the players, it was like a badge of honor.
Yeah, it is.
We're not going to be the team that lets that down. And so, they would fight to improve.
Well, and it makes those young kids that are in the middle schools and the elementary schools want to come to Leander and want to be a part of a successful program. Well, now, Coach, it's been a while since you've actually donned a headset on the sideline, probably about a decade, you'd say?
It's a little longer. I stay connected because I train kids locally, and then I evaluate talent for colleges, and so they buy our information on kids that have an opportunity to go to the next level.
So do you miss putting on that headset and getting down on the sideline and
feels
managing
pretty good,
the game?
Frank. Yeah.
you like that?
Yeah.
I knew you'd like it.
Well, it does feel pretty good. I always tell my wife, I said, I can probably call the first set of plays, and then if it doesn't work out, then, it's kind of like, okay, I didn't do my homework. But no, really, I find myself wanting to call that third down play.
Yeah.
That fun play.
We do that on the broadcast. we try to guess what they're going to call.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. And I know you've got to get to that job. You got to go scout the Pflugerville game tonight.
I do.
And so we don't want to hold you too much longer. But, do you have any message for the current team?
Well, there's nothing in this world that you're going to go through that can prepare you for the real world. Take advantage of it, and love what you do, and be a self-starter. In other words, don't have to be coached into working hard every day.
Or waking up on time.
Yeah, right. Set your own alarm clock. Be responsible for getting your stuff where it ought to be, and those are the little things that we start off with, and then they should be automatic. And every now and then we're all going to have a bad day.
Oh yeah.
But that doesn't mean that it's just time to let's get ready for tomorrow. No, let's finish today and figure out what we can nurture from that. But I really think that Coach Price has done a really good job coming in here. It's been a tough run. Came in here, just before COVID. Mm-hmm. And I see player buy-in. I see community buy-in. I come up here and watch a game or two every now and then.
Yeah, we see you in the stands.
And it'll, I see people in the stands.
Yeah,
and
more
so
and
community,
more.
Yeah, community looks like they're hungry for this again.
We're ready.
I think so. And when Frank said that you might come up and he'd give you a call, we were pretty excited about it because – one of the things I think is important about building a program or reestablishing the success that was once there is bringing in the history of the program and recognizing success and trying to emulate that. Yeah. So We're going to let you go, Coach. We got senior night tonight, so we got to bring that.
Before you leave, I just want to share one story.
Okay, let's do it.
There's one that has followed me forever. I remember you told us a story about the Warriors back in the day, how they jump on the ships. And once they get to the battlefield,
yeah,
the leader would go over there and burn them ships up, so there was an option to get back on. And you told us, don't be surprised if I burned them yellow dogs down. And we got fired up, and that was it. Pflugerville didn't know what was coming for them that night.
Yeah, we had driven over to Pflugerville, which in those days we were playing in what would be the 5A league in those days, and 6A.
In that littler stadium that's sitting there on campus.
Yeah, that's right. So we drive over there every other year, and so it's time to. And they put us in a dressing room, looked like it was under a trash can. It was pretty tight quarters over there, and you had to walk half a mile to get to the stadium. But anyway, so we're getting ready for that time, and I said, okay, boys, we prepped. And so I said, I got one last thing, y'all look over there and y'all see those yellow dogs burning. The ships. There's no ships to go home.
Yeah,
you got to stay here.
Battle for your life at that point.
Hey, and then when we did jump back in the ships, they were throwing rocks at us because they was mad. Yeah, and we beat them down that night.
That's good though. That's the kind of reaction you want to get when you're leaving, especially on the road. You want to make those home fans mad.
And it was very important back then. We didn't lose to Pflugerville. That's one thing you didn't do: lose to Pflugerville or Cedar Park.
I think we dropped one ball game to them, and it was 34-31 over at their place. But we put the ball on the ground 3 times.
That'll happen if you do that. So was Pflugerville your biggest rival as a coach?
That was the team that we picked out because they had, they just run the 311 mile relay team in 2000. So they had all the juice in the world.
Yeah.
And they had tradition over there. And so, we just picked it out early and said, look, we're going after the top dog here. And that first year, I don't know if you remember, you were in middle school. We beat them 59-6.
Woo!
And it was
that'll leave a bad taste in your mouth.
And the next year they came back, and that ain't going to happen again. And we beat them right out here with.
They had Antoine Cobb as a running back.
Yeah.
Oh, that was before then.
That was before then. Yeah. Al Pena was a quarterback. We just graduated. Paul Thompson, and Al Pena was a quarterback. We beat them 49-45.
So that was a shootout.
Oh man, it was.
Those are the best games unless you're the defensive coordinator. You don't like giving up all those touchdowns.
Yeah, they are all kicking rocks after the game.
Well, we're trying to get back there, and we appreciate it when you come out, and we've got just one more game in the regular season. If the Lions, they have their destiny in their hands. If they can win tonight and win over at Eastview next week, they'll be in the postseason. And
that's right.
At the very least, maybe we can have you back if we make that postseason.
You bet. You bet. Hopefully, it'll be at a good time.
Right.
Yep.
Thanks, Frank, for everything.
Sir. It's always good to see you, Coach.
Yep, Coach.
Thank you, Chuck.
It was good.
You betcha.
Yep. Thank you. And Lion Nation, that again, Coach Steve Gideon. Leader of the Lions for a long time here at Leander High School, and as he said, led some good runs into the state playoffs. And so we're going to bring you the senior ceremony here momentarily. Stay with us here on SHN Sports, your home for Lion football. We'll be right back.